Hi there and welcome once again to Dukascopy TV. I'm Ben Jones. The ECB have held their interest rate at 0.25% despite worryingly low inflation. Joining me on the line to discuss the reasoning behind this is Maxime Alimi from AXA Investment Managers. Now Maxime, there are a lot of eyes on the rate decision today. With inflationary issues, many were expecting some form of change in the interest rate, with a few even calling for a negative interest rate. What is your opinion on this decision? Were you expecting this?
Yeah, I think broadly speaking, there was no big surprise on today's decision. Yes, some were indeed disappointed by no action on the rate side, but I think the Governing Council shifted the emphasis somewhat away from rates towards unconventional measures. And I think now what's going to be the most likely option for the ECB this year is going to be some form of asset purchases, what President Draghi called QE discussions.
Now, in the press conference, Draghi outlined that the reason for the low inflation at the moment is because of lower prices for energy and food. What else do you feel was key that was discussed?
Well, I think he made clear that there were several elements to the decision today. So yes, indeed, inflation was very low. In March, 0.5%. But there were some technical reasons for that low reading, especially Easter, some base effects as well, and very low commodity prices. But the point he made was that first, we're going to have some pickup in inflation in the month to come, but also that the reading from March doesn't really make any changes, any difference to the medium-term view of the ECB, and that's why it was not warranted at this point to change monetary policy.
And finally, the Eurozone current account surplus is predicted to be as big as China's relative to GDP over the next few years. So with increased investor confidence, the euro could reach worryingly high levels. Do you think this provides a further risk of deflation? And how should this be coped with?
The current account in the euro area is rising quite fast, but I think some of that is really related to the cyclical factors in the euro area, and especially the fact that domestic conditions are very depressed. So probably we're going to see some correction in the current account in coming years. Obviously, this is pushing the euro up, especially against the US dollar. But remember that FX is really driven by several factors, and the current account is just one of them. And I think as we move forward into this year, relative monetary policy should also play its role, especially if in the US we see further normalization in Fed policy. In terms of the risk for deflation, I think it's a limited risk because, again, an appreciation in the currency is a one-off shock to prices. When we talk about deflation, it's really about sustained declines in prices. So I think the risk here is pretty limited.
Maxime, thank you very much for talking to us today. That's all we've got time for, I'm afraid. Make sure you tune in for the final day of the trading week, as I'll be bringing you Friday's edition of Forecasts. Bye for now.